Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So I know it's been a while since I've made a Luigi's Mansion centric video, and I apologize. It's just that there have been a lot of other things that have been grabbing my attention recently, like SpongeBob and just some other news going on in the community right now. So basically, today's video is going to be kind of a two-part-ish kind of video. The first part is actually going to be my updates for my Luigi's Mansion 4 project, simply because I don't have that many to give you guys. So I'm not going to make a whole video on like 2 bits of information. So there's that happening, and then we're going to talk about the actual Luigi's Mansion 4, whenever it's going to happen, whatever it's going to be. We're going to talk a little bit about that and speculate what could happen, when can it come out. So, without further ado guys, let's get into today's video. So firstly, my Luigi's Mansion 4 project updates. Honestly guys, there isn't really that much to share with you this time around, mostly because my artist has been very busy. He's obviously, since a lot of people are home and you know people are still kind of quarantining in some instances, there's a lot of people who are requesting art from him, and he's very busy, so he can't do my art at this very moment. The last time I checked was a couple weeks ago, so I might send him another message to see what's up, to see when I can get him to do the artwork. You know, it might delay my project, but it might not. I don't know, because really that's not the hardest part. Like, he usually can get my artwork to me in like the span of a week or two usually. Like, that's how it took him, about a week to do the mansion design. Actually a little less than a week, like I think maybe 4 or 5 days. So you know, it might take him a little bit more with my more complex pieces of art. But it's the artwork really isn't something that is like crucial to be done right now. So I'm actually working on more important things, like I'm putting together a cutscene, an intro cutscene to the story of the game. Now it's not going to be like 3D model or 3D animated or even like really 2D animated. You'll kind of see what I'm getting at when I show you the final product. But either way, actually I'll tell you, it's more like a slideshow. Like a slideshow with some moving pictures, basically, because I'm not talented enough to 3D animate or 2D animate an introductory cutscene, like, you know, that sets up the story. So, you know, keep that in mind. And remember, guys, it's a concepts and ideas project, so, you know, don't expect it to be like a legit finished game. It's going to be nothing like that. It's mostly going to be art, you know, in terms of concepts and ideas. So, just putting that out there. For those of you who are new here and didn't know about the project, I'm actually having a whole playlist put together of all the updates I've done so far, and will be concluded with the actual video. So make sure to check out that playlist if you haven't. I'll put like a card up here if I can. I don't know if I can do playlists, but either way, I'll put like the very first one or something up there in the cards. But yeah, and like I said, I do think it's still going to come out in October. I'm still aiming for October 31st. But I also wanted to do a second Spooktacular. For those of you who don't know, last year I did a ZakPak Spooktacular, and I wanted to do a sequel to that this year. And obviously I'd want that to be on Halloween as well, so I might, but I don't know, I still gotta figure it all out, or maybe I'll do them both on the same day. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, I guess that's it for this part of the video where I talk about my project. So let's move on to actual Luigi's Mansion 4. So this is the hard part for me, right? Usually when it comes to this kind of thing, like, I try to think of something where it's like, okay, this is the year it could come out, this is the system it can come out on, but obviously we don't really know that, because obviously we already have a Luigi's Mansion for the system, and there isn't a second system. So it would have to be the successor to the Switch, at least in my opinion. I am not in the mindset that they're going to do a Luigi's Mansion 4 for the Nintendo Switch. At least the Switch as we know it now. They could make a sequel model of the Switch in a few years' time. Not a Pro model, by the way, a sequel model, because apparently they're talking about keeping this formula down the road, which I'm actually kind of happy with. But they could definitely release a Luigi's Mansion 4 on the next console, but I don't think it would be... I don't think it would make sense, or not that it wouldn't make sense, I just don't think it's likely for them to make another Luigi's Mansion for this current console. As much as I would love them to, I think the only possibility would be a remake of 1 and 2. 1 and or 2. I don't think they would actually release a 4 on the Switch. It's possible. I'm not saying that it's 100% never going to happen, unlikely as hell. Not saying that, but I am saying that I think it's pretty unlikely. I'm not betting on it happening, and I really hope you guys aren't betting on it happening. Even though Luigi Mansion 3 actually sold decently well, like I think it sold 7 million, which is, it might be more than that, I'm not quite sure. because I haven't really looked at the sales figures in a while, but the last I saw, I think it's around 7 million, which is the best-selling game in the whole series, so hey, you know, kudos to them for that. But I don't think that those sales numbers really warrant a sequel, or at least on the same console. I really don't think it warrants that. What I do think it's safe to say, however, is that it will be made by Next Level Games. Whatever the sequel is going to be, it will be made by Next Level Games. So yeah, so it's no question that Next Level Games is going to develop Luigi's Mansion 4. But here's the thing, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Luigi's Mansion 3, and as much as I really don't like Dark Moon much at all, you can't deny that Next Level Games are good developers. I mean, they made the Mario Striker series, which is very, very beloved. They made Punch-Out on the Wii, which is pretty beloved as well. Yes, they made Federation Force, but we'll forget about that one. So I think it's safe to say that their relationship with Nintendo is really, really good. But the question is when. And like I said, I don't see it coming out on the Switch. So when would it come out? Well, I don't think it's going to be the next project that they're working on. You see, I think they actually are going to make another Mario Strikers game. I think Mario Strikers is very, very likely. Maybe not this year, next year, but that will probably be their next project. And so, obviously, it's safe to say if they're working on Mario Strikers, and since they're not the biggest of developers, that means Luigi's Mansion 4 wouldn't really be in development for a while. So, obviously, like I said, that's obviously next generation for Nintendo, but how far into the generation? How many years into the next console will we have to wait? Well, the first question we have to ask from that is, when will the next Nintendo console release? So here's the thing with the Nintendo. Each one of their consoles usually lasts about 5 years, more or less given the system. The N64 to the GameCube. N64 came out in 1996, GameCube came out in 2001, so that's about a 5-year gap. So then we have the GameCube to the Wii. GameCube came out in 2001, Wii came out in 2006. That is a 5-year gap. Then we had the Wii to the Wii U, 2006 to 2012. That is about a 6-year gap. And then obviously we have the Wii U to the Switch. Wii U 2012, Switch 2017, so 5 years. So basically an average of 5 years. And that's obviously not counting NES and Super Nintendo, because I think there's a little, actually no, NES to SNES is 6 years, and then 5 years to SNES to N64. So yeah, about 5 years is the average between Nintendo consoles. So, given that math, we could probably expect the next Switch console, or next Nintendo console, I should say, in between, I'm going to say between 2023 to 2024. I think that is what makes the most sense. And again, that is a little bit longer than 5 years, but keep in mind, they said that they want the Switch to have a long life cycle. So I think it is inevitably going to be longer than most life cycles before, specifically because the Switch is very popular. Sure, the Wii was very popular, but they made the Wii U based on Wii's success, and they learned from that mistake. So that would mean that the earliest that Luigi's Mansion 4 would come out is 2023. Like I said, that's the absolute earliest. Now, let's go back to Mario Strikers. Let's say Mario Strikers comes out in 2021, right? Let's say Mario Strikers comes out in 2021, meaning they had about, give or take, a year and a half to 2 years to develop a new Mario Strikers game, which I think for a game like that is probably about right. So now it's 2021, Mario Strikers is out, and let's say their next project is Luigi's Mansion 4. This is where we're going to look back to Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, how long did it take them to develop Luigi's Mansion 3? Well, they did start development originally on the Wii U in, I believe, 2015. So, that means that from 2015 to 2019, 4 years is how long they had to develop that game. Now, of course, they did have to make a completely new engine, so if there was a new Switch, they might not have to start from the ground up. They can use the assets of 3 and maybe upscale them a bit. That's very possible. But I think the development cycle, since it is next-gen hardware, it'll probably take a little bit longer in general, so let's just say it will also take about 4 years to develop Luigi's Mansion 4. That would put it at around 2025. I think that sounds probably about right for when Luigi's Mansion 4 would come out. And mathematically, it also does kind of make sense, because that's 6 years after Luigi's Mansion 3, and Luigi's Mansion 3 came out 6 years after Dark Moon. 6.5, but we'll say 6. So that's when I think Luigi Mansion 4 could possibly come out, in 2025 on whatever console's the next console. I could, of course, be wrong. This isn't a video meant to be taken too seriously. This is me trying to estimate when it would make sense for Luigi's Mansion 4 to come out. If it actually does come out in 2025, we're going to look back at this video and be like, oh my god, Zak's a genius. Zak is a mega mind genius. But I don't know, it's probably not going to happen because it is me we're talking about. I'm pretty stupid in a lot of areas. But what do you guys think? When do you think Luigi's Mansion 4 could come out? And when would you want Luigi's Mansion 4 to come out? And even better, what kind of Luigi's Mansion 4 would you guys want to see? So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.